Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob the Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today I have a fun video. This is a Rob's rambling about my top 15 knives in my collection that really are the most special. I call them my Grail knives because they're knives that I find of great value, Grail status to me. May not be to you. Some of these may be just user knives. May not be a whole lot. Some of these knives, every one of them may be Grails to you. They were to me at least. So yeah, let's talk about this. All right, today I'm talking about my top 15 Grail knives that I have in my collection. These are knives that are valuable to me, but before I do that, I wanted to talk about my first 4 honorable mentions. I know that's a lot, so I should have probably just done the top 20, but I figured 15 would be enough. But 4 honorable mentions, these are ones that some of you guys may think are of value, and some of you may not think of value, but to me they're special. Also, they're special because of maybe something I did or something unique about them. So let's talk about those. The first one's going to be my VECP. This is the Les George VECP button lock with a thumb stud. This was a gifted knife to me from a very special friend from Mopatty EDC. This was Billy Barry's knife. Very, very special knife. After he passed away, Trish gave this knife to me, and it was a gift. So this is a personal knife in my collection. It's not a knife that would be given away. It's not a knife I'll ever sell. When you give something like this, it's very special. So this is the Les George. Now, when you see this, when it drops, they usually only sell for about $450, right? $425, $450. And you may think, well, what makes it special? The problem is they drop so few of these, especially this butt lock, that when they drop, they sell immediately. And the secondary market doubles. They usually sell for $850 to $950 to over $1,000. And they are a fantastic knife. I think it's truly undervalued when he sells these. I think he could sell them for a whole lot more. It is a fantastic, it's the strongest button lock I own. Titanium, Magnacut, absolutely solid. This button lock, if you notice, it really is quite something else. Now this one is greased on the inside. It probably needs to be a little clean. I haven't done it in a while, but actually it's beautiful. It's on phosphor bronze washers. Just solid lockup, just really engages that lock. There's not any bit of play. You do see a little bit there of where it locks in. This is kind of equivalent to the detent. You have to overcome that to deploy it, right? And so you can left hand, right hand flick it. So, and this beautiful channel right here for your thumb just goes right in there to deploy it. So it's really, really nice. Titanium clip. I'm sure at some point you could probably get a custom clip for it, but this is just such a special knife that, yeah, just really special. So this is my, I guess it would be my 4th runner-up honorable mention as far as one of my Grail knives. And it's special because a couple of things, right? Because it's very rare. So, but the most important reason why it's special is because of who gifted it to me and what the knife means and what it signifies. So it's a very special knife. And every time I show this off, it inevitably, I get an email, I get a text, I get an Instagram message, somebody saying, hey, I want to buy that. Hey, let me give you an offer. And I'm like, no, just no. This is not for sale, right? Because these things are in such high demand. I know even Metal Complex been looking for this forever. He keeps seeing them for $800, $750, I mean, $800, $850, $900, whatever, and he thinks it's overpriced. But really, on the secondary market, unless you get it the first drop, that's what it is. It really is. But this is such a special knife. So, yeah, honorable mention number 4. Let me put that away. Honorable mention number 3 is going to be my my Spyderco. This is a RG Custom Metalworks full custom scales. These were, when he dropped these were around like $450. Now, you have to mind, these are full custom scales. This is on a Magnacut satin finished blade. When I built this knife, they didn't actually have the G10 version of this, so I had to kind of Frankenstein this knife and borrow it from another piece and make another one of FRN scale. And then this is a polished CME from OCD for EDC. Notice a clip, hidden hardware. The action on this thing is top notch. It's just phenomenal. And when you drop this thing, it's just really great. So dead nut centered. Everything about it is just perfectly tuned, perfectly tight. Just really perfect fit and form function. Not only was it cool to get the Magnacut blade, not only was it cool to get this perfectly fitted CME, polished CME, but the scales themselves are just bar none phenomenal. This is the fanciest Spyderco knife I own right here. Absolutely the fanciest Spyderco knife I own. At the time, this thing was like a $750 build. You might be able to build it for a little bit less today, depending on what RG Custom Metalworks is selling his scales for. He has different patterns, so you could actually ask him about it to see what other scale patterns he has. So definitely do that. If this one, I love this honeycomb. The detail on here is just phenomenal. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit, just to see the detail on this. Beautifully rounded, everything contoured, clip, everything is perfect. Goes in and out of the pocket just absolutely stunningly. I think it's just a stunning, stunning little knife here. So that's my honorable mention number 3. All right. My honorable mention number 2 is going to be, now I'm kind of torn between these two here. They're about the same, but when this came out, now you can get this. This is the TRM Atom with the Mike Irie custom hollow grind. This is a custom hollow grind. Mike Irie is the same guy who does fancy knives like for ProTech, the Collector Series, all sorts of stuff that he does for custom knife makers, and his hollow grinds are bar none. But this right here is the Magnacut. They're now doing 20 CV. I don't believe they're doing Magnacut, at least not for a while. And the Magnacut was a little bit more expensive to do. And with the scales, this is the lizard skin texture scale. And so you could probably get this knife for a little bit less if you get the 20 CV, I'm pretty sure. But I mean, in the Magnacut, this thing was pretty special. I think it was like almost a $700 knife. So I really, really like this knife a lot. I think it's beautiful. I love everything about it. I think it's gorgeous. So this right here is the Magnacut Mike Irie Custom Hologram TRM Atom with the lizard skin scales. Just a fantastic knife. I've had an Atom in my collection forever. Such a great user knife and continues to be, especially being Magnacut so tough with that hollow grind. It really is like the best combination to do. All right. My last honorable mention is going to be my Dixon. This is a Jonathan McNees knife. Beautiful hollow grind. Now, what makes this special, this was the first drop that they had, the very, very first drop. I got a chance to check these out and actually review one for Jonathan and Amy, so I was very excited about that and very honored to do so. Really beautiful knife. I love this thing. Now, when it came out, it had that dark acid wash that he loves on his knives. Now, he has newer ones, that beautiful textures, satin finish now on the blades, all sorts of fancy stuff that I knew he'd be coming with. I need to get some fancy hardware here. I want to put some bronze hardware on here that's similar to another knife that I'll show you a little bit later, a MAC2 that I have, but I'd like to do that just to kind of make it highlight. But what I did to mine is I polished the clip because it was just a little sharp in the first iteration. I think, you know, being a first drop, and then the edges were just a little uncomfortable for me. And what made me start to do all this was I had a snail trail on my clip right away. So I figured, okay, let's polish that. I did. And it came out really looking nice. And then I ended up polishing this, looked nice. It was kind of a tight little radiused chamfering going on here. And it was tight for my big old meaty fingers. So I did a little bit with a belt, made a little cutaway for there, easier access to it, made this super more comfortable for me. Didn't change the geometry or anything on the knife. Now, if you know, like the MAC2, you look at first gen, second gen, and you see all the iterations. I could see some of these things happening in future generations of the Dixon, but like some of these edges, just I like to round that up. Just gives it a nice touch to the knife. I think it's just beautiful. If I get another one with any of the fancy scales, I will probably do the same. I just think it's really, really gorgeous. I've gotten a lot better at doing this. I've done this to a few knives now, but I think it is phenomenal. This is Dixon. This is my last runner-up here as far as my top 15. So let's get into the next one. My top 15 after this is going to be, all right, first one, number 15 is going to be my Javi Garcia Nova. This is the hollow grind Magnacut. You can see that beautiful Javi Garcia blade there. It's just absolutely stunning. Love this blade. It's sort of like a spunto. It's got like a little point there, but this beautiful swedge looks so good. Again, it had this big, beautiful clip, which I immediately got snail trails on because it's a big clip, right? And so because of that, I decided I was going to polish it. I started doing that on the McNees, so I did the same, and I polished the back all the way around. And I felt like with this beautiful satin finished blade, everything else was so dark, I decided to also use a little flitz on the scale. So this made this a lot lighter. This was a lot darker than it originally was. I don't know if I have anything that really shows how dark it was, but it was pretty dark. And so I lightened that up, and then I got a little cutaway to the lock bar because this was really tight for my big old meaty fingers. It was either that or I was gonna have to, you know, catch and release. But I liked the knife so much that I really felt like I needed to make it work. And the clip was sharp. It was unfortunately very sharp. And so I rounded that, and in finishing rounding that, of course, it took this type of finish off, so then I went ahead and did the full polish. Now, I've gotten better at this, and I probably can go back and touch this up and get this like perfectly, perfect tone all the way across. But like you see here in the front, I really like the way that looks. It's just a nice look, and the action on this thing now is just really phenomenal. I did put skiffs in this guy. All my knives, unless they're phosphor bronze, they'll have skiffs, right? So, but the action is phenomenal. Just a beautiful flipper. It's a flipper only, technically. But if you notice, there is this jimping in front. So guess what? You kind of get a little bonus front flicking. So you can front flick it if you put your finger up high enough, put a little pressure in, make sure you're clear of the flipper, and you can front flip it. So I've got a little bonus flick on there. I like that. So this is number 15. All right, so number 14 in my collection is going to be my Rob Johnson's. This is my Cedar, one of the very first knives I ever got from him. This has got that beautiful step milled RWL34 skiffs in here, of course. This beautiful polished scales right here with that kind of knurling pattern on there. Nice deep pocket carry clip, easy clip going in and out of the pocket. Really do like that. Got a little dirt on there, I guess. Did I get dirt on there? I'm guessing, yeah, I do. So anyways, action on this guy is pretty phenomenal. And then the flipper is really nice as well. So just really great little, it's a great reverse flick knife. And the action on this is just beautifully buttery smooth as it drop shuts. Love that. This is number 14 on my on my list. So yeah. Next one is going to be a special one. This was a Blade Show Texas acquisition. This is the This is the McNees MAC2 3.5. This was a Blade Show special. You don't see these around. He said he might not do another one. This is the black anodized scales, and it's a Tanto hollow grind blade. You can see that hollow grind there. You have this beautiful swedge on top and this beautiful Tanto in the front. I did do a little polish on here just to kind of make it pop a little bit. I thought it would look nice. And then you got this beautiful, beautiful anodized, a beautiful Timascus inlay, which is gorgeous. And then the clip over here, obviously the black anodized. And then you got this beautiful bronze anodized hardware, which this is the stuff that I want to put on that Dixon, by the way. I think would look really cool. But you have that. And then, of course, these are 6mm O-rings or 006 O-rings. These are, you can get these on Amazon. I highly recommend them. There is a little shelf in there where you can put these on and they hold on. These are barrel thumb studs. Now, it is rounded a little bit on top, but they're not the most comfortable. This just makes it a little more comfortable, especially with that beautiful action. And reverse flicks really well. Now, this is Gen 2. So what's really nice about Gen 2 is you can reverse flick it. Gen 2 really reverse flicks pretty well. I do like that a lot. So Gen 2 is one of those fun reverse flick knives. Action on this is just phenomenal. I did put skiffs again in these. If they didn't have skiffs, I did add it. I added skiffs to my Javi Garcia Nova. I've added here to this guy as well. Just a little bit of touch. And then, of course, like I said, I polished this up. Just, you know, it's not a whole lot, but it's enough to kind of give it a little bit of pop. You know, I just want it to look a little different than this right here. I know he likes that deep acid wash look. Now, his newer blades, he does come out with some satin finish, which I'm really excited about. And that's kind of what I wanted to, I felt like it would just be a nice little look on this knife. So yeah, this is number 13. All right, number 12 is a recent favorite. I've been carrying this guy a lot. This is my Mojave by MachineWise. Now, I have two. I have the Sonora and I have the Mojave. I love both. And I could easily have brought both of them in here, but the Mojave is the one that's kind of stands out over all the other ones, even though the Sonora legitimately could be in here as well. Probably should have been a honorable mention. If I had done my top 5 honorable mention, it would have been in there, to be fair. But this is the Mojave. This is the 20 CV version. They're in S90V right now. And beautiful milling even on the swedge up here, if you can see that, and then milling up here on the lanyard in the back. And this is what they called a kind of a rough ano, working ano, whatever they call it. I don't know. But it's cool. It's intentionally done this way. It's kind of for them to get it to look like that. I thought it was really, really cool. The action on this thing is phenomenal. See the cutaway, beautiful. Cutaway is just great. The action. Now this comes with skiffs already, and so I really enjoy this knife a lot. Now, as with some of my knives, if I felt like they were a little slippery, I did add one line of jimping right here. One line, because a lot of times your finger up here, it's perfectly fine. But if you ever slip, you get out on the edge right here, it's easy to slip off, but with that little extra line of jimping, it's very hard for me to fail this, right? And I can do the push button, I can do the light switch, but if I don't slip, if I don't get my finger fully on there, I still have good contact and good traction to open that. The action is just phenomenal, right? It's just beautiful. Look at that. Dead nut center, just a fun knife. That was number 12, excuse me, number 12. Number 11 is going to be a favorite. This was always in my, if you talk about most meaningful knives, this has always been in my top 5, and it'll probably still remain in my top 5. There's a lot of reasons for this one, but in Grail status right now, I would say this is probably number 11, okay? So beautiful, beautiful knife. This is the Oz. Of course, this is as many people call it, the Silver Surfer, right? Because it's nice and polished and everything. This is the Silver Surfer. You've got that beautiful polished stone washed kind of blade there. You've got this nice beautiful swedge on top, which I think is gorgeous. You've got this beautiful putter milling pattern on here that's nice and polished backspacer clip. Of course, this came with dowel ring bearings, and I put skiffs in there, which makes it just a little nicer. It has double detent, two detent balls. It gives it just a unique acoustic and experience. It's just a fun reverse flick knife. It just works really great everything time. It's just so crisp. You've got to feel this in your hand. If you have one of those clones out there, it's nothing like that. Trust me. This is just next level. Just really phenomenal. Really, really, really enjoy this a lot. Now I've had the extra large. It's too big for my hands. My fingers aren't long enough. The Rosie, they call it the Roosevelt, right? This is the Oz Machine Roosevelt, but nicknamed the Rosie. I had the Rosie XL. Made me wish I had longer fingers, honestly. But because I don't, I love the Rosie right here. Beautiful, beautiful knife. That's my number 11. My number 10 is a favorite here. This is the SPK Lamia, Alex Steingraber. He designed this knife right here. This was one of those I got off at Blade Binge. Beautiful step milled. This is Elmax blade steel on this guy. Does it say on here? I think it should say on here somewhere. Yeah, there it goes. Elmax blade steel. It is a fuller thumb hole kind of knife only. Action is phenomenal. Just ergonomics are great. Now, it didn't come in with any jimping on here. I added that jimping personally because I wanted to be able to kind of front flick the knife. And to me, that was something fun I wanted to be able to do and enjoy. And so having that little jimping on there not only gives you a little traction here, but it just gives you a nice traction if you ever want to come up here and then just front flip it. So to me, that was kind of a fun little extra thing that I did. That was one of those things you learn to do, right? But I really enjoy that. And this beautiful step mill is just phenomenal. So this is the, again, he comes by, these come with skiffs already. Alex Steingraber, SPK Knives, they already use skiffs in there. So, you know, I didn't have to swap anything out. But the action is just phenomenally beautiful. Just beautiful. All right. Number 9 was a Blade Bench find. This was the Duckling. This is the Utzler Duckling. Now I got this one on a really good deal because it had some snail trails on there, what have you. And this is, you know, this is not the inset liner lock. It's a frame lock, and it is Magnacut. And these are dark Timascus thumb studs, which I think is really cool. Now, the blade came with this really dark kind of acid wash, stone wash, whatever you want to call it. But I polished up the blade just a little bit, still learning how to do that, but I really like the way that looks. I like that pop, and I like the pop on top here. I think that just looks really gorgeous, right? And then I polished the backspacer and the clip a little bit. Can't see the snail trails anymore, but the action on this, again, I put skiffs on there. Did it need it? No, but skiffs just make it just a little bit nicer. But that action with skiffs is just phenomenal. And it almost feels like, you know, it has a control drop, but there's no blade play. It's just in there so solid. I mean, the dynamics, the ergonomics, the control is just great. So this is one of the most enjoyable thumb stud knives that I have. Really, really, really enjoy thumb studs on this knife. So much fun, so much fun. Again, that's the Utzler Duckling, right? And again, I love this texture. And notice how it's polished here in the seams. And I think that kind of lends to this polish, this being polished, the swedge being polished. It just kind of, I think it just complements the knife. I like the look of this better than the really dark kind of acid wash, stone wash of it is. All right, so that's number 9. Let's go to number 8. Number 8 is going to be my Holt Blade Works. I've had this for a while. This is my Morpheus. I got this directly from Joe and Angie from Holt Blade Works. They had a kind of like a drop on Instagram, and I immediately jumped on this. They had this beautiful purple. I love that. You can almost see the two tones, the pink and the purple kind of come together there, I think. Just really, really gorgeous. Now, I carry my knives, and I got a little something on there. Let me see if I wipe that off. Probably cutting an apple or something, right? You know, or a banana, whatever. So anyways, I use my knives. I know some of you guys are like, what? Yes, I do. And the flipper here is just phenomenal. You hear that little double click? Listen to that again. That's because it has that detent nub on there. Very similar to what Brian Nadeau has on his Sharp Eye design. This one's adjustable though, Brian's not. So I find that pretty cool. It does make it a little bit different in his, even though Brian Nadeau's detent nub wasn't patented, right? But if he had, I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm sure Joe would have come up with something else. But I love this. I love the action on this thing. Beautiful. This is Magnacut, by the way, this particular blade. Yeah, there you go. You see Mag. Typically, he does M390, and I think I got one of his last, because I think he prefers M390. Magnacut's a little tricky to work with sometimes. With some of the stuff he does, he has the stop pin in the blade itself, and that can sometimes be a little more challenging, right? The action is beautiful. I did put skips on this guy as well, like I did with the Utzler. Just really beautiful. It's got that nice, very crispy, deep deployment. It's a flipper only, but it's a very satisfying flipper. You don't feel like you're missing out. This is, if you're gonna do a flipper, you gotta do it well. This is how to do it. Just like if you're gonna do thumb studs only, like on the Utzler, it does it well, right? I love that. I love that about those knives. Phenomenal. Yeah, so just a gorgeous knife. This has this stonewashed, very polished kind of look. You can see that, just really gorgeous. So fun little knife here indeed. That was number 8. So let's go to number 7. So number 7 is going to be my Brown knives made by Craig Brown, my mini FSD-I for the inset liner lock. Okay, so this has got that beautiful kind of frag pattern. It is purple anodized. You can see that it's almost purple. I love that on there. Beautiful back spacer, everything lined up to clip, and you see a flat spot underneath there. Just absolutely stunning in so many cool ways. I think just really, really great. Now, it is a front flipper, and it does have a fuller. This fuller works really well, and this front flipper works really great. So you can do the reach around, and you can do like the push right here. That works really well. And then of course you have the fuller that works really great, both left and right-handed. Now, being that it's an inset liner lock, you'll see that in there. It kind of goes in there. You see the cutaway, easy to get to, easy access. So I can easily clear that and then drop it. Very nice control drop. So I could do left hand, and I also do left hand reverse flick because it is an inset liner lock. My hand's not going to put pressure on there. But oops, got to be careful there. Did I just poke myself? Yeah, I did. Get my finger too close here. But really, really, really cool. I think its action is phenomenal. Again, Magnacut, beautiful hollow grind. Love how thick that kind of blade comes up to a nice pokey tip. Super crazy sharp. Yeah, really, really fun knife. This is my number 7. All right, number 6 is going to be my R&H Tasca Gen 2, Tasca 2 Gen 2. So this is the full zirconium scales. I did not realize how heavy this was going to be. I thought it was a little thinner, but these are pretty robust, pretty thick titanium liners here with an inset, with a steel bar insert, or I don't know if it's an over trowel stop, but at least it's a steel bar insert. You've got Zircuti clip and a Zircuti backspacer. I think that's really cool. Now, when it came in, this was really sharp here. And this backspacer with this little lanyard was super crazy sharp there. That made it really uncomfortable. I learned how to polish that and then fire anodize that. You can do a creme brulee. A torch can really do a great job in re-anodizing stuff if you have, you know, over the sink and have some cold water, so you can just not make sure it doesn't get too hot, but just easily anodize that back to that beautiful Zircuti colors there. This is an Elmax blade seal. This is hand satin polished. I've used this knife, so I've got a couple of snail trails on there, but we can polish that and get rid of it if we wanted to. But just simply stunning little beautiful knife. You've got the clip here. It's kind of a unique one. It's a flathead, so it does come with a custom tool. Now, it was very tight in here for my big old meaty fingers. It was almost going to be a catch and release, but I did mill this out. So I have like cutaway access there, and you can release that and get clear that, and then it drops, right? Action's really nice, especially when your hands, you warm up the viscosity of oil in there. It tends to have a little smoother drop right now, but so, and it reverse flicks really well left-handed. And then the flipper here is a kind of a hidden flipper, but it was really easy to miss. So what I did is I put a single little line of jimping. Can we see that? Can you see that line of jimping? Come on. There we go. All right, sorry. You can see that little line of jimping right there. right there. And that gives you enough traction so that I can just do a nice flip. I think that's really fun and stunning, so I enjoy that a lot. Yeah. So really, really nice. Jimping up here is decorative. It works a little bit, but it's not super functional. You can choke up here, trigger, but it's not the best. Plenty of room back here. Plenty of room for my big old hand, meaty fingers. It's nice and thick. It's a beautiful knife. It's very much a fancy go out to dinner, go to church kind of knife. I really do like that a lot. So that right there is my number 6 knife in my Grail collection. Do like that. And this is from the Czech Republic, by the way. Really, really cool knife. All right, number 5 is going to be my Koenig Arius. This is the twill carbon fiber. I got this one off of, I believe it was DLT Trading. Titanium frame lock in the back. This is the large version. I had a small one. It's too small for my hands. I love the roundedness of the clip, the lanyard right here. This is really good. This goes really well in and out of the pocket, even though it looks a little tight, but it does have good flexibility right here. So it goes in and out of the pocket, and there's enough room to get it out in my jeans, shorts, and stuff. I do like that. Nice big area back here. The flipper works really great. Got this big, beautiful hollow grind blade right here, and I believe this is M390, or is it Elmax? I can't remember. Does it say on here somewhere? I don't remember. Yeah, M390. So there you go, M390 blade steel. The fuller works really fantastic. Thumb hole, whatever you want to call it. It looks like a fuller more to me, but you can call it thumb hole, whatever you want, it's fine. Right, that works really well. And the action is just beautiful. You drop this, just super control drop shut. Beautifully dead nut centered, which is just really lovely, I think. Love the captive pivot, everything about it, but that twill carbon fiber really makes it stand out. I don't know why, but twill carbon fiber tends to be more expensive than just a regular titanium. So, I mean, I think it's a little more so. It is cool. You do have great cutaway lock bar access. It is easy right here to disengage the lock, and it drops really beautifully. So, and the flipper is just fantastic. So this is a fun carry. I like to carry this one very regularly throughout the day. Yeah, I think it has some information on the inside. Anyways, I can't see it, but really cool little knife. It is the Koenig Arius. This was, you know, we're getting up to the very expensive part of my knives. So that was number 5. All right, number 4 is a constant favorite. This is my Skiff Made Blades Fugitive. Got this one, which at the time I bought it is now worth probably $100 to $200, maybe $300 more than what it was when I paid for it, because I appreciate it. This is the Fugitive. This is the quintessential definition of perfect action. Of course, Skiff Made Blades may sound familiar. You know, you have Skiff cage ceramic ball bearings, which I did put into my Koenig Arius. I did put into my Tasca 2. I did put into my Mini FSDI, right? I put them into pretty much every knife if they didn't already have it. So, but this Skiff Made Blades comes with skiffs because guess what? Well, Steve Skiff Jr. is the one who makes the Skiff Made Blades and does a lot of CNCing for his dad. But his dad, Skiff Sr., is a guy who makes these amazing knives. I believe there's Asylum, the Fugitive, a few of them that I know. Just gorgeous knives. The milling on this is just so perfectly pristine. This is S45 VN blade steel. I think it's absolutely stunning. You don't see hardly any billboarding on here. Finger choil works really great. I know there's no jimping here, but this beautiful swedge and hollow grind, just really crazy sharp. Milling on here, the texture, and you've got this full clip, which is nice, you know, especially if you're going to do a flip. You can put your finger right there and you're not worrying about putting a finger on the lock bar. So that works really, really beautifully. Action is just phenomenal. And there's no jimping on this clip because if you just get your finger on there, it works really great. It does stick out a little bit. You know, I think Nick Shabazz might call it a pocket pecker or pocket poker or whatever you want to call it. But I love the bronze anodized. I know they do some of these in blue, and I'm sure the blue is some people's absolute favorite. I don't care for that super crazy dark blue. I don't think it would be crazy ugly, and I may not hate it, but I don't absolutely love it. So I think this is absolutely stunning. I think it's gorgeous right here, right? So again, this is number 4. All right, number 3, it's going to be my HMC Transient 3.2 version 2. So this is the 3.2 version 2. This is in the brown G10 scales, titanium clip. You got the beautiful, not captive pivot, but you got a flipper here. Beautiful back spacer back there. This is a fuller one, doesn't have thumb studs. Beautiful hollow grind. This was a lot darker. I did use the flits just to kind of polish it up a little bit. I thought it was too dark. I don't mind the little bit of that darker finish with the brown. I think it complements it, but it was too dark for me. So just a little slight touch of flits on there. Does come with skiffs automatically, just like the skiff-made blades did, and so did the Lamia, and so did the Mojave came with skiffs, and so did the Cedar. So, you know, those all came with skiffs, but this one didn't. So I added that. I mean, this one did, and action is just fantastic on this guy. Now, this is, I call this my best front flipping, non-front flipper, because right here you got this jimping. It's just perfect. You put your finger up there. It really flips pretty nicely as a front flipper. As long as you get your finger on there, you got to push in. I got to remind myself how to do this. If once I do it, it's like, it's very, very consistent, right? So put your finger, pressure in, and as long as I'm not doing it for you guys, I think I tend to be pretty good with it, right? Once I try to do it for the camera, then it's all bets are off. But anyways, I do like it. It's pretty cool. Some people will be like, well, you know, oh, this, by the way, this is an inset liner lock. Do love that. Nice cutaway, easy access there. Lock bar, the lock bar is not super tight where it's uncomfortable to disengage. The action is just really phenomenal, both left and right hand. So yeah, I know they sell some of these with fancier blades and fancier, you know, scales and all sorts of stuff, but I like this one. This makes me feel like I can carry this, use this all day long, so I really do enjoy that. That's number 3. Number 2, now this was number 1 for quite a while, and it may move up to number 1 once I get the backspacer to complement this beautiful Timascus clip. This is my Prince Custom Protean. Now, one thing you'll notice, it has the dragon scales milling on here, both front and back, which is really phenomenal, and that's something rare, right? Prince and Wong doesn't always do the dragon scale milling on here because that does take a lot extra time. It's more expensive, a lot extra machining time on there, and very specific. And you've got this little knurling that kind of fences all around the dragon scales here. Likewise back here, I think that's really cool. Nice flattened out here. You've got this kind of floating backspacer back there. You can see that. That's definitely a floating backspacer. Can we see that? Yeah, you can see that right there. So kind of cool. Love to get the Timascus to match this right here. I think it's a nice touch. Now it came in super dark washed. What I did with this one is I did do a flitz on here to kind of make it, give a little two-tone there so the scales would highlight. I think it looks a little more beautiful. It does make them pop a little bit better, and I like that. I like that look a lot. It makes the knurling kind of pop out a little bit too. So to me that was cool. I was gonna polish the backspacer, but I figure I'm still hoping Princeton Wong will release something like this so I can put it back here. That's my hope. Here's this is the Warncliffe blade. I had the clip point before. Now I did polish the swedge up there a little bit, and on top I thought that would look really nice. And we get rid of the really dark I guess finish on here, so it's a little lighter, and I do like that. I think it looks just a little happier, a little brighter, and I wanted to do that especially because I had the Timascus clip, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. My favorite left-hand reverse flick with a fuller. Just absolutely stunning and solid. This clip is made for you to use that. You see that? It's just absolutely made for you to use that. So comfortable. You can choke up, plenty of room. Large hands with big meaty fingers. Plenty of room up here. Just super comfortable. This jimping locks you in nice and solid. Love the swedge. Love the hollow grind. Super nice, sharp edge. Definitely a beautiful slicer. This is 20 CV blade steel. On this one, I believe it's HRC 62. So really nice. I put skiffs in here, obviously, so action's phenomenal. So that's number 2. Number 1. What is my number 1? It's a doozy. This is my Trevor Berger Custom Urban XL. And you're gonna be like, well, don't you already have an Urban XL? Yes, I do, and I'm probably gonna be trying to sell this guy right here. Probably be on Blade Binge, just so you know. Because this is the purple haze fat carbon with the frame lock on the back. Absolutely gorgeous. Love this knife. Skiffs on this guy. Just simply stunning knife. Beautiful hollow grind. Drop point right there with the hand satin finish. Absolutely stunning knife. But wait, you notice this is the black paper micarta. Hidden hardware. All you have is this custom pivot, and this is mammoth molar inlay on the pivot. So custom pivot. There you have this beautiful hidden hardware clip, which is on the inside, this carbon fiber backspacer, and then you have this beautiful blade here as well. Beautifully polished, absolutely gorgeous, hand satin finished. Super, super stunning. This one's Elmax as well. I believe it's at 82, maybe, yeah, 82 or 82.5 HRC. Action is phenomenal. And with that big, beautiful hologram, you can middle finger reverse flick, both left and right hand. So it does reverse flick really, really well. This clip does go in and out of the pocket really easily. It's not super sharp right there. It does pop up a little bit, but once you open that knife up, now the thing about this one, you got to get a little low, right? But once you open up, it's super comfortable. It doesn't dig in. Super great. Locked in there, nice and solid. The jimping works here. It's really more the jimping for the flipping right here, which I think is phenomenal. And you can, if you get up here, you can do the reach around, which I think is pretty cool. And then you can do the front flip. You can do even the right here, the knuckle flip, right? So all that works really nicely. Oops, got to get low. There you go. I got to get low into the belly of the blade right here. If I'm too high, it's a little harder. Get a little lower, it's pretty easy, right? So I do like this. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous knife right here. So that is my number one in my Grails. I know that's a long list. Hopefully I'll put chapters in there if I remember. If not, sorry. But you can skip through it, whatever you want to see which knife you're interested in. But I do love this knife. This actually came from Trevor Berger himself. He dropped it on Instagram. I was so excited to get it. For what I got it directly from Trevor Berger, there's no way you could get it for that price here in the USA. Because whatever I paid, I had to pay an extra 150, 200 bucks in a tax bringing it in because it came internationally, right? So yeah, so there was that, and that's just something you have to keep in mind when you get something like this. So definitely my number one Grail of Grail knives out there, I would say right now. This is simply the most stunning. I'm not a super Mike Harda fan, but this one is just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. So let me go ahead and put them up here. So we'll have the number one. We'll have our number two. We'll have our number three, right? Trying to get all these in order. Number four, number five. Then we have number six right here. Then we have number seven right here, right? Number seven, make sure these are in order. Number eight right here. Then we have number 9 right here. Make sure I can get the top 10 up here. So let me move these over, oops, a little bit. So get all these in order. So we have number 9 right here, and then we have number 10, right? Number 10 right here. So go over here, and then we get number 11, number 12, number 13, lucky 13, right? Number 14 right here, and then we have number 15 right here. All right, so this would be number 15. And I guess if we should bring over the honorable mentions, right? So we're gonna do our honorable mention here. We're gonna do our honorable mention here. So this one here. We're gonna do that one here. What else is the other honorable mention? Where are we? Here. So yeah, these are the 4 honorable. And if I were to be fair, you know, I mean, it's hard because there's some other knives I really love. I mean, the Chris Reeve, this one right here, the Large Sebenze. I waited forever for this, and I did put a Lynch Northwest clip on there, right? And so I put custom thumb studs. So this could easily gotten into there, but this would probably be my other honorable mention, which would be my MachineWise Sonora, right? So that's the button lock there as well. So I have 2 button locks right here, this and this one, both phenomenal. This one's an integral, and then this one here. So if I were to be like real consistent, I guess we could do that. But I'm going to bring these a little bit closer so they're all on screen, so we can have a nice little thumbnail picture, right? Because we got to do a thumbnail picture for the video. And then we got to scribble these out so you guys don't see them ahead of time, so I can trick you into watching the whole video with me. Hopefully you didn't mind. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, great if you watched this far. But I would say probably the top 20 of my Grail knives. Now, are these my most meaningful knives? No, that's a completely different list. And let me know in the comments, would you like to see my top 5 most meaningful knife? Maybe my top 3, maybe my top 10, whatever. And it may not be the most expensive. It just may be the most meaningful knife to me, right? So, and then you can also, another list that a lot of times we do is the 5 knives that bring me joy. And that list changes depending on what you have and what you're enjoying, right? But there are knives that bring me regular joy. And some of them are pretty consistent, some are not. But I would definitely say these are probably my Grail of Grails right now in my list. So my absolute number one Grail of Grails is this one. For a while, this was my Grail of Grails. This was a Grail of Grails for a while. This has been a Grail of Grails for a long time. It's always been one of the most meaningful knives in my collection, believe it or not. I would say, you know, right now, off the top of my head, of all these knives, if I was to look at these, what are my quick top 5 that I love the most? Not necessarily thinking about price, thinking about, you know, how hard it was to acquire and whatever. What are the 5 that probably I really enjoy the most of these 5? So it's going to be this one, this one, this one for sure. So 3 right there. Boy, this gets really hard. Utzler, probably 4. And then, oh man, this gets really, really hard. Really hard. Yeah, so this, so that's 4, and probably Utzler. So yeah, that'll be 5. That'll be 5. Most meaningful ones that really were like impacted me in getting into the collection. Obviously that. This was one too, because it's one of the first prototypes that Javi came out with. Obviously that. I've actually had a couple of versions of this one. I had the Timascus inlay. It was just too expensive for me to carry, so I ended up selling it to get this one. Believe it or not, this was a lot less. Obviously, my Holt Blade Works was another one that was huge in my collection. The Dixon was really meaningful. Of course, was my Mike Irie custom hollow grind, and then was getting these RG custom Metalworks scales. So, anyways, that's my top 20. I don't know. What you think? What do you think? Was this interesting? Did you find this? I don't know, did it change from what you remember last? Are there anything new here that you think, that's new, or I don't see something that you had before, or that's been there quite consistently. What do you think of it? You know, feel free to ask me in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Honestly, I really would. I love those types of questions. I'm totally open to them. They don't bother me at all in the slightest, so feel free to ask those types of questions, 100%. But all right. Appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully it wasn't too long of a video, and if it was, thank you for watching it. Those of you who did, some of you guys may not, you may have forwarded it. It's okay. It's okay. I appreciate you guys just checking it out. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, informative, entertaining, just fun, whatever you found it, would you consider hitting that like button down below? And if you've already hit the like button, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button, because subscribing and liking the channel, it does really help out. Allows me to do more things, because you guys watch the videos, it helps the channel grow, allows me to do more things. So I really do appreciate you. Thank you. If you haven't already, maybe consider hitting the notification button as well, so you can be notified of future content like this and other videos. Big shout out to my channel members. I appreciate you guys so very much. You do 2 amazing things, right? First, you encourage me. Thank you. Secondly, because of your generous support, you allow me to do things way sooner than I ever thought I could, like check out knives, cover costs of shipping, things like that. Sometimes it's really hard to cover cost of shipping, but you know, still there. But all of those things, I really appreciate you guys with your help and your support for that. So channel members, thank you. As a result of that, I want to do 2 things for channel members. 2 things, right? Brand new channel members, email them your name and address. I'd love to mail you a channel sticker and a thank you note. Genuinely would like to do that. Secondly, channel members, you become eligible for the once a month members exclusive giveaway. So for you channel members, if you become channel members, that 1 week, every week we'll have a budget banger giveaway, thanks in part to you guys. But then that 1 month, that 1 week in the month, we'll have 2 giveaways, which you're eligible for both. One channel member is actually won both. It can happen, but you'll be eligible for both. The members giveaway is usually not a budget banger like the weekly giveaway. It's a little nicer giveaway, hopefully something you would enjoy winning or giving as a gift, right? So that's my small way to say thank you. If any of that sounds cool, the idea of the sticker, the note, the monthly giveaways, maybe the special emoji icon, the exclusive content, any of that stuff sounds cool, please check out the description down below. I have a link for 3 different tiers. Would love to have you. Don't do it because you feel obligated. Don't feel pressured. Don't do it for any other reason except that you want to. And if you want to, thank you. Thank you. Sincerely, thank you. Words aren't enough, but I appreciate you. You have no idea. All right. Appreciate you guys watching this. Again, if you haven't already, maybe consider checking me out over on Instagram
at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week.